Hi everyone, in this tutorial video we're going to have a look at Adobe Spark and how to start using it to create the social media campaign required for our assessment. The first thing we need to do is make sure that we've got an account to be able to log on to Adobe Spark. To do that, open up any web browser and simply go to adobe.com. You're going to need to sign in to be able to get access to the resources, and if you already have an account you can sign in here. If you don't, you're going to need to go through the process of creating an account. Now that you've got your Adobe account created, we need to go to spark.adobe.com, type in your username and password, then click continue. And then you're ready to start creating. We're going to be using Adobe Spark to create an Instagram post. It's important to click here on Instagram post to do this because it will correctly create the standard image size of 1080 by 1080 for your Instagram post. This will be important because when you go to upload it to Instagram, it needs to be this size, otherwise you will get parts of your post cropped off at the sides or the top. The first thing to do when you're creating your post is to give it a name. I would suggest the first one we're going to create is going to be called logo. We're going to use the text tool over here to start creating our logo. So click on it and you'll see some have yellow tabs and some don't. The yellow tabbed options are ones that we can't select because they are for the paid version, but selecting any of these ones that don't have yellow tabs will work fine. I'm going to select this one here as an example, and it puts the text up on the screen, and just up here to our right is where we can change the words. I'm going to be using Brazil as my example country. So I'm just putting some words in here to be representative of a logo that I might want. You can include a hashtag or something along those lines, and then you can change what you want it to look like. I might try something down here like, that would be interesting, I don't mind that. I'm going to try something like that. I don't want it to be an outline, I want it to be a solid color. And when you're choosing colors, it's a good idea to have them as something that's going to stand out really clear and obvious. Reds or yellows or oranges or things like that work really well. Once you've got something that you're happy with, we can add some extra details to this logo by using things over here from the icons selection. Because our social media campaign has to be using data as part of its message, one of the things that can work well is if you go and look for graphs as part of our icon. If I search down in here, I'm going to find something that might fit well with my logo, and if I make that the same yellow color, I could align these together to get something that's starting to look like. You can use this space to create multiple different options using each of the different text styles that are here. Create several to see which ones you might be happy with, and once you're finished, click back up here on projects. With our logos now created, if we go to the top right hand corner and click on the three little dots, we can duplicate this post to start creating our template. If we give it a name like template, and now click on edit project, you can select the logo that you want to keep for your post. I'm going to merge these two together here, but I'm going to set those to being yellow. And now what I want to do is set the default background that I'm going to use for each of my posts. To do that, up here at the moment you'll see that it's white. If I click on this, I want to choose a solid color, but once again I want to choose a color that is indicative of the country that I'm running my social media campaign on. For that reason, in this example, I'm going to choose green, because the colors of green and yellow are the predominant ones of the Brazilian flag. So positioning my logo, something like this down in the bottom corner, I'm now ready to insert a picture that I could use as a character for narrating my message that will be part of my campaign. To ensure that we're not breaching any copyright, one of the best places to use is a website called pixabay.com. And by simply typing in the country of my choice I'm going to let it search through all of the images that it thinks represent my country and try and find a character like an animal or a person. That toucan might work well. I don't think I'll choose a mosquito, but I might choose this parrot here, for instance. And if I select this image, I'm free to download this because Pixabay provide royalty-free images. Save my image. And now returning, what I want to do is upload that photo by going into Photos and Upload Photo. If I browse to my downloads, I can find my parrot and go Open. But if I leave my parrot like this, that's not really going to work very well. I don't want all of this surrounding background. The great thing about Adobe Spark is it has a brilliant tool for removing this background. So selecting my image up here, if I click Remove Background, it will run a little algorithm across this image and try and determine which parts of the image it doesn't want to keep. And there we go, it's done a great job. It's not quite finished yet. I need to come up here and accept that by clicking the tick to say yes, that's done. And there's my character I'm going to use to be narrating my Instagram posts. I can do a few things. I can go and make him bigger or smaller. I could go and flip him around to be facing the other way. I might do that and position my parrot down this bottom left hand corner. Okay, we've got our logo, we've got a standard background, and we've got an imported image. The last thing to do is to set our standard text size, style, and font that we're going to be using for our messages. To do that, come up here and once again click on text. We want to simply get something that's not fancy, like this one here. And before we move on, we can go and change its font to something that we think is nice and clear and easy to read. I would recommend not choosing any of these cursive fonts. They make the message hard to read, as do these really bold ones. And all we're doing is establishing our standard text size, font, and style so that when we duplicate this slide over and over, everything stays consistent between each of our posts. Okay, now we've created our template, we can come back to projects and simply duplicate this post. And the first one we're going to be creating is our Instagram post 1. And once it's duplicated, we can edit this project and start modifying our messages here by simply clicking in these words here and changing what we want our message to say. So get your message looking the way you want it to be looking. And there's our first post. From here, it's going to be an ongoing process of duplicating each post and adding in appropriate images, graphs, and other symbols to make your post eye-catching and interesting and informative for your readers that you're trying to attract as part of your audience through your social media campaign. This is where you can include things like population pyramids, graphs, provocative images, facts, and other pieces of data and statistics to support and emphasize your message. You can go to www.instagram.com/KBRAD39 to see a range of 15 example Instagram posts that make up a complete social media campaign in the form of Instagram messages. You can see it starts out with the first 5 messages in a blue color, the next in a green, up to an orange, representative of the 3 waves of our social media campaign. You can use this as an example of how to include data, statistics, images, text, logos, and changing backgrounds to formulate your own social media campaign.